Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to work with layers. So currently I've got a blank image that I've set up with a transparent background set up at 250 by 250 pixels. Over on this side of the screen, okay, on the right hand side of the screen, you can see that I've got my area here where I can talk about layers and pages. Please make sure that you're not on pages because we're working with layers. Okay, so you're working with layers. Now the reason why we use layers is because you can change individual elements of an image depending on what layer you're on, and you can protect layers to stop them being changed, and you can hide layers to help you create your image. So I'm just going to show you a few techniques. Okay, so firstly I'm going to draw a background layer, so I've got nothing on this image, so I'm just going to double click where it says layer 1 and I'm going to change this layer to background. Okay, I'm going to use the marquee tool. I'm going to select the background so you can see that's not quite selected. Let's try again. Marquee tool, select the background, and what I'm going to do, I am going to change the fill color of my background. So I'm going to click on this and let's change it to that color, paint pot, boom. Okay, so I've changed the background color of my my image using the marquee tool. Okay, so let's start populating my background with my image with something else. So I'm going to bring in a table, okay, so or a worktop. So I'm going to click on my background image, okay, my background layer, and I'm going to insert a new layer. And this layer I'm going to call table. Okay, so now I've got two layers. Okay, at the moment, if I use the selection tool, I can click and drag this and make changes to it accidentally. So there are two tools open to us here on the background layer. So if I just click, looking at the background layer, not the stuff inside it, just the background layer, you've got an eyeball. Okay, so if I click the eyeball, that disappears. Okay, it hasn't disappeared, it's just being hidden. Okay, and then this next one next to it is the lock tool. If I click it, it puts a padlock in there and it stops me being able to change accidentally anything that's on top of that layer. Okay, so I'm going to go and just grab an image quickly that I've got of my table. So this is my image I'm going to use. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste that image into my image. I'm not going to resample. Now it's going to be massive when it puts it in. Okay, so I'm going to resize it. So I'm just going to zoom out of my image. You can see how big it is because it's you can see the blue lines around the outside. So I'm just going to resize the image so as it fits. Okay, so there's my image. So zoom back in. Now that image is on top of my background, so I can't make any changes to that. If I drag my table layer underneath my background, I'll drag the background above my table, you can see that my table disappears, and the reason for that is because I've got the background layer on top of the table layer. If I click and drag it back, I'll drag the background layer back down. No, hang on. There we go. Okay, my background layer is now underneath my image layer, my background layer. My background layer is now behind my table layer again. I've got an issue here, the fact I've got a background on here that I want to remove. Okay, so there's two ways in which I can do it. I can either use the eraser tool, as I showed you in a previous video, so I can click like that and just remove the background, or I can use the magic wand tool and I can select the white area like that. Okay, and I can just press the delete key and it removes all the white. I have got a bit of an issue because I've started to delete there, so I'm going to have to use the eraser tool to just get rid of that. Now this image I can now click, okay, and I can move about, and if I wanted to I could use the scale tool and I could rotate it and put it where I wanted to on my image. Okay, but that is now being on a different layer. So let's have a look at something else. Let's have a look at cloning on my background. So if I go on to cloning on a layer, I'm going to insert a new layer and I'm going to call this mug. I've already copied my mug image from the internet, so I'm going to just click on the mug layer and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste it in. don't resample. It's massive again. Okay, so let's zoom out. Let's make this a lot smaller. Okay, so let's take it down to something like that. Drag it back in so you can see my mug. There we go, it's a little bit skewed, so let's just take the size down there. Okay, alright, so we got the mug. It's already got a transparent background, which is brilliant. So I could put another mug on the other side. So to do that, I'm just going to select it. I'm going to come up to edit, and I'm going to duplicate my mug. Okay, so I've now got two mugs. But I can also do something else. I can flip it, so I can flip this horizontally. So I've now got two mugs, one facing one direction, one facing the other. I can click on that one, and I can have them both facing in the same direction, like that. Okay, so that is all on different layers. So now, when I say about hiding objects, if I wanted to hide my table, for example, then I could just click on the eyeball for my table, okay, and it's gone. Alright? Okay. If I wanted to hide, keep my background, then I can just hide the table itself, like that. Okay? And I want to lock these layers so as I don't make any changes to them. Okay, so that's how we use layers to build up an object, and the reasons why we use layers. So I'm going to show you in the next video how to use text and how to bend text to a shape.